Now, given that With Love Meghan Season 2 is a major ratings disaster for Netflix, they lost tens of millions of dollars in the process because of how much money they spent on this thing, and how much they really invested with the marketing campaign, and only cut back on the marketing expenses. Far too late, of course. They did that only weeks before the debut of Season 2. What's interesting here, though, has a lot more to do with Meghan Markle going into damage control mode, really trying to take control of the situation, trying to really revert the backlash, and really trying to water down the number of people that are actually against her. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, we know one thing about Meghan Markle right now is that she's trying to turn With Love Meghan into an ongoing brand, so to speak. We know that you got With Love Meghan Season 1 and 2. Now you have With Love Meghan the holiday special in the works, and she's also working on books that will actually use With Love Meghan as the header. But there's other actual aspects as to how she's trying to expand this overall brand, and it's actually quite worse than you think. Let's get into this. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle right now is that we know that she's trying to remain, as far as she sees herself, as relevant, quote unquote, in Hollywood, in the film industry. And let's be very real, she never really was in Hollywood like many other actresses and celebrities were. And she was on Suits for a while, sure, but she really wasn't anything major or memorable at that point. What's interesting here, though, is, of course, has a lot to do with what she actually had to say about her overall vision, about the future, what's going on, and how it really could very well be worse than the pregnancy video alone. Let's get into this. Now, again, with Meghan Markle still doing desperate damage control over With Love Meghan Season 2, and just how big of a ratings failure it was for Netflix, one major development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle making yet another terrible announcement to the world in her newest way of trying to gain attention. Meghan recently delivered the following. What I love so much about the With Love Meghan series is that I knew and I now view it as a brand. A brand I'm looking to expand beyond just television. First, we started with Love Meghan Season 1 and 2, and now we are working on the holiday special. But to go even further beyond, I have been working on a book for With Love Meghan, and now my most recent project that I want to bring out to the world is what would it be like to create a song or a musical piece, to get into music and to lift up so many spirits. It's a learning curve for sure, and I'm looking into how I could sing and what instruments I can play, and how With Love Meghan can go beyond just being a television show or a book adaptation, but how we could even tap into music. And so I am looking into producing a single song that I would love to debut either on social media or something perhaps that my fans can purchase exclusively to listen to their own homes. It's probably one of the greatest challenges that I have been going through in my mind. Questions, of course, on whether or not this can actually succeed is one thing that I have in mind. Questions always come up like, how can I make this work? How can I learn this process as quickly as possible and as quickly as I can, that I can strike while the iron is hot? So music is something I really want to get into more. It's something I have always wanted to experiment with. We see it happen many times with these social media stars who are one thing and ended up doing another thing, and I think I can provide the same results. It may take a while, given that this is a learning curve after all, but I want to expand the With Love Meghan brand beyond just television and books. I think for a brand to be ultimately successful, you have to tap into other forms of media and entertainment, and that is the goal I have in mind right now. And of course, I expect to hear it all from the doubters and the naysayers that want to put me down. But sometimes you have to drown out the negative waves, the negative noise coming from these individuals that have nothing special going on in their daily lives. It's important for me to really focus on music too, and how I can provide meaningful life lessons through sound. Now guys, let me just say one thing about this. Now, it's one thing for Meghan to really just obsess over her television series with Netflix. You got the holiday special, you got other projects in the works, the travel series, etc. But it's another thing for her to actually begin expanding the brand into the form of books, and now even quite possibly a song or a musical piece, as she puts it out there. The fact that she's going that far and really just going overboard to do anything that she can to have all eyes on her. It just goes to show you exactly how desperate she is right now, based on how big of a ratings failure Season 2 really was, and how it really cost Netflix millions upon millions of dollars. Very similar to what happened with the Snow White movie by Disney and how much money they lost because they spent so much money on that project. Same exact thing is happening with, of course, Meghan Markle. Except in this case, Ted Sarandos is not learning from his mistakes, and he's very incompetent. He doesn't really know what to do anymore, and so that's exactly why Meghan Markle is really taking it into her own hands now. She's really just focusing on books. Now she's focusing on music, how she can create a one single song to expand the Meghan Markle brand, or the With Love Meghan brand, quote unquote. She continues, and I think it's going to be just so magical and spiritual to the human soul. When you are an actress, a writer, and a creator, you expect to expand your skills. And this right now is all about testing my limits. I have always wanted to go further beyond, and I'm hoping next year we will be able to turn this into a reality. Now, again, about 2026, it's going to be a very busy year for a lot of studios out there. Even if she does get to dropping this single song, I think it's going to be completely ignored. It's going to be completely overshadowed by a lot of the major films dropping next year. Nobody's going to be paying attention to Meghan Markle anymore at all. I think that at the same exact time, when you're looking at Netflix and when you're looking at the customers subscribed to Netflix, people are really beginning to lose their patience about how they are just really focusing on Meghan Markle, promoting Meghan Markle, and people just don't want to deal with it anymore. That's why they're leaving in droves. They're leaving to other programs, or other platforms, I should say. Things like, for example, Disney Plus, which is also a failing platform because of how many funds they're losing. But you also got other ones out there like Peacock and HBO Max. She continues to conclude, I'm not sure what genre I'm aiming for, something that will be an educational piece though, the use of music, because music can have life lessons inserted into it as well, and I fully intend to do something like that, which can change so many lives, not just in this country, but around the entire world, and so I'm ready for it all. So again, the fact that you got Season 2 is a ratings disaster, Season 1 really didn't work out well, the holiday special is guaranteed to be an even bigger failure, and now you got her working on other one-off projects with Netflix, a book, and now she's talking about a song? Now, look, we know that Meghan Markle's no actress, she's no writer, she's most certainly no musician or songwriter. That's pretty much a given. And so this is exactly why people are calling it out, because of how cringeworthy she really is, how obsessed she really is with becoming famous, with becoming, of course, a star, quote unquote, whether it's on social media or through Netflix or any other studio out there. The obsession, it's really just showing through at this point. The mask is really coming off about how self-centered and narcissistic she truly is. Nothing new, we all knew that she was for years, but it's really beginning to become quite obvious now, to even the casual viewers out there that may not know all that much about Meghan Markle, right? But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all of this below in the comments, anything ranging from the With Love Meghan brand to Netflix, and everything in between. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.